All right, I hope you've watched the instructional video. Now we're going to have some practice problems we're going to go over. Do as many as you want, do as many as you feel comfortable with, and then move on and try the quiz out. The quiz is short. Just go out and try it. If you're having questions, come and see me for office hours, or shoot me an email, shoot me a message on Edmodo. Either way, it doesn't matter. I can get them all from there. Okay, let's try a couple practice problems. We already know that x is equal to 2. So when we go to solve, we know that x is equal to 2. Your job is to now find the y. We know that x right there equals 2. So I can put this right here and substitute out a 2 in for that x. We end up having 2 times 2 is 4 plus y is equal to 11. Y is equal to minus 4 minus 4. Y is equal to 7. So our answer is 2, 7. All right, problem 2. Problem 2, we already know that y is equal to negative 2. Now if we know that y right there is equal to a negative 2, we can plug that in. So we have 5x plus 2 times, well, what is y? A negative 2 equals 1. Plus, well, 2 times negative 2 is a negative 4 equals 1. Now this plus a negative doesn't really need to be there. We can just put subtraction. We're going to add 4 to both sides. You get 5x equals 5. X equals 1. So we know that x equals equal to 1, and you know that y is equal to negative 2. Make sure you're putting your answers as a point, because then it makes you remember that you have to have an x and a y. It's just a nice system to always have when it comes to substitution and elimination. And when we did graphing, you always have to have that point. So you know that you have to have an x and a y answer. Okay? Next problem. Okay, this is the harder style problem. I didn't just give you a y equals 2. Instead, I told you that y is equal to 3x plus 2. But we're going to do it the same exact way. You're going to get rid of the y, that y right there, and we know what y is equal to. Y is actually equal to 3x minus 2. So what are we going to put in right here? 3x minus 2. That's all it is. We're using substitution, getting rid of something and putting something else in. Let's write it out. 4x minus y. Well, y is actually 3x minus 2 equals 4. All right, so normally you wouldn't think I have distribution to do right now, but you do, because we should notice that there's this negative right here. There's a negative right outside there. So we need to distribute that negative through right here. We get 4x minus 3x plus 2 is equal to 4. We should combine like terms. What is 4x and minus 3x? Just a 1x or an x. You don't have to put that. Plus 2 equals 4. We're going to minus 2 from both sides. Minus 2, minus 2. And you're going to end up getting x is equal to 2. So we get the x equal 2. What are we going to do next? You're right. We're going to plug it in. So if we're going to plug it in, we already know what the x value is. We already have a pretty nice equation to plug this into. So we're going to take that equation right there, and we're going to go y is equal to 3x minus 2. But I know what the x is now. That x right there is actually a 2. So let's plug that in. Y is equal to 3 times 2 minus 2. Y is equal to 6 minus 2. Y is equal to 4. All right, another problem where it's not just x equals 1. Instead, it is x is equal to y plus 1. So every single time I'm going to see an x, I'm going to get rid of that x, and I'm going to put in y plus 1. This right here is y plus 1. So 2x. Well, we know we don't really have x's anymore. We're going to get rid of this x right here. We're going to substitute that x out for what we just said, y plus 1. And then we're going to continue. Minus 3y is equal to negative 1. If you'll notice, let's get rid of all this highlighting. This top problem here, 2x minus 3y equals negative 1. 2x minus 3y equals negative 1. All we've done is get rid of the x and replace it with y plus 1. Let's solve it. First things first, we got the distributive property. We're going to distribute here and here. So when we do that, we're going to get 2y plus 2 minus 3y equals negative 1. We're going to combine like terms once again. Negative 3y right there on the right and a positive 2y. we're going to get negative 1y, or just a negative y. Plus 2 equals negative 1. Minus 2 here, minus 2 here. We're going to end up getting that negative 1y is equal to negative 3. Divide both sides by a negative 1, or multiply, it doesn't really matter. And we get y equals 3. So on this one, we know that y is equal to 3. How do we find that x again? You're right, we just plug it back in. Plug in. As we plug that in, we know what y is equal to, because we got y plus 1 right there. We know what this y is equal to. X equals 3 plus 1. X equals 4. I'm able to plug that 4 in. I had to give you at least one problem that posed some type of challenge. Let's try this one out. If you haven't tried this one, pause the video, try it first. Now I know that y is equal to negative 3x plus 5. This y right here is a negative 3x plus 5. Okay, here we go. 2x minus 3. This right here is what y really is. Negative 3x plus 5 equals 7. My favorite, we get to do the distributive property. Awesome. 2x minus, oh, it's not minus though. You get a negative 3 times a negative 3x. Negative times a negative is a positive. You get 9x right there. Negative 3 times 5 is negative 15 is equal to 7. We get 11x minus 15 equals 7. I get to add 15 here and add 15 here. When I do so, I get 11x is equal to 22. And then it all comes into place. I get x equals 2. Let's plug that back in. Y equals negative 3x plus 5. Well, I know that x is now equal to a 2. So I get y is equal to negative 3 times 2 plus 5. Y is equal to negative 6 plus 5. Y is equal to negative 1. So I get an answer of x equals 2, y equals negative 1. All right, last problem on your homework. You've made it this far. Congratulations. This one's going to be a nice and easy problem. What we're going to have is x equals 4. We already know the first part of our answer. Now we're going to just plug that in right there. So 4 plus y is equal to 8. Y is equal to 4. Oh my gosh, that was so easy. Congratulations. Congratulations, you made it through. So now you've watched the instructional video and you've watched the practice problems. Awesome. Now the only thing you have left, the key thing, go take the quiz. If you have questions, hit me up. We'll talk about it. Have a good day.